especially like this. Like it's such a catch-22 because people do deserve second chances. I agree. People deserve it all day long. They deserve a second chance. But I also believe that, sometimes I don't know. I don't know, right? Sometimes things is just right. It's crazy. So um let's see. Oh, sorry, let's go back. All right, let's get it.
I'm here to talk. It's maybe about 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night. And Toledo shows up. And he wants to talk to his wife.
Bestie and Louis talk in the garage while Felicita tries to listen from the house.
Let me try to go at least a little slower.
She had 2 cars on her name, so she was going to give him the car that was paid off. She was going to give him some money. They are loud at points, and then the conversation quiets, and it seems to be that they're parting on fairly decent terms.
So what I will say is, if you are going through something like this, right? You're going through this issue. Ladies, don't meet up with someone in private. Don't meet up with someone in private. It's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous to meet up with somebody, and this is how they're treating you. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Toledo comes back into the home, says goodbye to Felicita and the kids, and then asks Jacinia to come home that evening. We talked, and I said, let him come down and you stay here with the kids. But no. She just said, Mommy, I want to go home. I want to sleep in my own bed.
Oh, man. And that's when they don't take things seriously. Oh, let's see. Let me stop. I can't see it. Okay.
He initially agreed to end the affair with her co-worker.
Look at him. This dude is in a jumpsuit. You know he's suspicious. He's in a jumpsuit. He did it. He said, I said it's not right that me and you are living a happy and a bad marriage, and he's living a happy marriage. What?
Said, it's not right that me and you are living a happy, bad marriage, and he's living his happy marriage. So, and then he sent him a text. So she gave me the phone. I sent him a message.
The co-worker's name is Kevin Dretton. After Lewis sent the text, Kevin called Jacinia at 12:49 a.m.
She's like, Kevin, it wasn't me that sent you a text message. I said, I'm done with you and Kevin. And I left. I said, you and Kevin can have each other.
I don't know, man. This don't sound right, Louise. You smacked old girl in public. I don't put this past you. I don't put this past you at all, man.
And I won't.
Lewis claims that just after 1 a.m., he walked outside the house and saw his neighbor, Tyshawn Jackson. They chatted briefly. Then Lewis slept in his car and went back into the house around 8 a.m.
The house was empty. Nobody was there.
So here's the thing, right? This is where I call bullshit, right? So you slept in a car on your property of your house. Then you got up the next day and went in and nobody was there. You didn't hear no one leave. You didn't hear a car set up. I might be jumping the gun, but you sound suspect.
Investigators wonder if Jacinia and her kids ended up with a co-worker and what he knows.
The investigation turned to Kevin Dretton, and law enforcement inevitably ended up at his doorstep.
Here's one thing you need to do before you buy anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first. Watch.
I'm sorry, it sounds like it's a little choppy, you guys. I don't want it. Let's see. Let me see. Okay.
Within hours of the disappearance of Jacinia Suarez and her 2 children, Volusia County Police pay a visit to her lover, Kevin Dretton. He answers the door, along with his wife.
Oh, he married too. Oh, the plot thickens. Trying to make sure.
I think it was a really upsetting moment for his wife. This man's having an affair with a coworker, and his wife knows nothing about it, and now the police are at the door. He was good enough to allow law enforcement to come in and look around the place. We took his phone and analyzed the contents of his cell phone to see where he was, to see what he had been saying and with whom he had been speaking.
Kevin admits he had been in contact with Jasenia the night before.
Oh man, so Kevin ain't really care about you saying like that. He ain't kill her unless she says she was going to tell his wife. That's usually how that happens.
The two exchanged text messages, and then Kevin gave her a call. He says he was shocked when she told him that Lewis had sent the last text.
Kevin asks if everything's okay. She says that it is. He knows that something is wrong, but he can't really put his finger on it.
And he's also not looking to do anything because he's already married. Like, what do you look like capping for the chick he's cheating with? Come on, man.
Says goodnight, and that's it. Right around 1 o'clock that night, that's the last anybody ever hears from her. Law enforcement talked to his wife, got an established alibi that he had been home with her that evening. There was no indication at all that he was involved in any of this.
One person of interest.
I would be so upset. I would be highly upset to find out that my husband has been cheating and this chick is now dead and you got the police at my door. Like, I feel like that's grounds for a divorce. We're not making no. Because people are crazy. What's going to stop the next chick you cheat with, her husband, from shooting me? Like, oh, you're bringing danger to my doorstep all because you don't want to leave. Stop.
Is crossed off the list. But investigators do have another promising lead.
What caused the story to change from she left and took the kids to something else was when the next door neighbor became involved.
Louis Tellero claimed that he saw his neighbor, Tyshawn Jackson, around 1 a.m. when he walked outside to sleep in his car.
That's a real investigation room, huh? Yeah, man.
But Tyshawn tells police.
Dude said it like he said it like he watched it on TV and he's kind of impressed. Like, this is where you guys do investigations, huh? What's up? How many murders y'all get? Y'all get about 4 or 5 a day? Yeah, this checks out.
Police, a different story. He first talked to officers at the scene shortly after they took Lewis into custody. Later that night, he reports to the station to answer additional questions.
We start learning the information about what Tyshawn knows about the early morning hours of that day.
Tyshawn says he never saw Lewis around 1 a.m. But he did.
Dang. Lewis shot himself in the foot. He sat here, he at least could have been like, hey man, when, or he just shot it. I don't know what he could have said, but he definitely shouldn't have said that.
He did see Lewis just before dawn.
What time did you wake up in the morning? At like 6:11 when Lewis out the window.
I said Toledo came to him in the early morning hours, asked him to move his wife's car.
He put his car in reverse, and he leaked away. And you got 1792.
Oh my gosh, I'm snitching because you got me involved in something completely like not something that I should have been involved with. So yeah, I'm definitely snitching. Definitely snitching.
He says they drive a county away, probably 45 minutes in the car. All the time, Tyshawn Jackson is thinking he needs to get a brake job or something. Toledo parks the car in a public parking lot.
What exactly happened? As soon as you pull up, what do you see? I see you standing outside. Like he's by the door, he looked back at me. Then he looked back and started cleaning the car down, wiping it down.
Ooh, he did it. He did it. The husband did it. And you know what's crazy is that he just added old dude into it, and I guess he felt like the police weren't going to ask him anything. I wonder if he was cool with old dude. I think that's my question. If he was cool with old dude, because if I hated my neighbor, I too would tell. I know I'm a horrible person. I snitch. Okay, don't date me if you don't want to snitch.
He says Toledo is spraying down the car, wiping down the handles, taking items out of the vehicle and stuffing them into plastic bags.
As soon as he cleaned the car, so I had a feeling like something bad happened in the house.
He says Toledo comes over and tells him to get out of the driver's seat that he's driving. Tyshawn hops in the passenger seat, and for the 45-minute ride home, Toledo doesn't say a word. Not a single word to him.
Ooh, suspicious.
Along the ride home
suspicious. Very dubious. Very dubious.
From the location where he dumped Jasenia's car, Toledo stops behind an apartment complex parking lot and throws a bunch of stuff in the dumpster. Ty has no idea what it is. He says it's the most uncomfortable ride of his life. When they get about a mile from the house, there's a red light. Toledo looks at him and says, I just snapped. And doesn't say another word.
I mean, you would get it if someone looks at you and say, I just snapped. Like, you'd get it. You'd understand.
Like, that's how I snap.
Like, was he talking like you know right now, or he's like
An elevated or quiet? What was it?
Like it was kind of like kind of calm almost. Kind of scared me when he looked at me and said it.
They continued back to the house. Tyshawn asks to be let off about a block away. He goes and gets a pack of cigarettes and stands out front of the 7-Eleven, and he smokes several of them before walking home.
Oh my goodness. I would have smoked too, because that was just earth shattering. Because he didn't say what he did, but like, something happened. You may not know exactly what happened, but something went down.
When the police show up that morning, Ty already knows something is wrong. He doesn't know quite how bad it is. And until Toledo is arrested and taken out of that location, Tyshawn Jackson doesn't feel as comfortable or safe to come forward and speak to the police. He talks to law enforcement at the station for a long, long time. He ends up going on a ride, showing them the route that he traveled with Toledo, showing them where the car was abandoned. Ultimately takes them to the dumpster where we were able to recover some of the personal effects, some of the property of Toledo and Jasenia.
He is shooting himself in the foot. He should just be honest and just tell everybody what happened. Like, he did it. He did that shit. They should just be honest. Everything is just looking really dubious right now. You should just tell them. What's going on, baby? Come on, Luis. Tell me.
That night, investigators circled back to Lewis, who's 2 rooms over, letting him know that a witness had provided information that points directly to him.
Can you talk a little bit about why somebody saying something like that?
Like, he's a gangbang. Well, I guess he's an ex-gangbanger because he turned witness. So I guess that's not as bad of a fear to have. But if he killed once, he can do it again.
No.
Lewis sticks to his story. And around 3 a.m., they pause the questioning for the night.
Everybody had been working from early that morning, around 8 o'clock, when we first got the call of Jasenia being reported missing. But we still don't have any idea about the location of Jasenia and the kids.
But here's the thing. I guess you can assume, because I'm assuming that he's killed Yesenia. But her kids too, like, wow. That's incredible. And not in a good way.
The first night when they were missing, none of us could sleep. I was still shocked. I thought I was just in a bad dream, just waiting to wake up from something I didn't want to be, living in.
His dawn breaks. Nearly 24 hours into the search, there's still no sign of Jasenia, Talia, and Elijah.
And there's all that water. First of all, Lucia, very beautiful area. I love water. I love everything about it. And 2, she talked about how they couldn't sleep. I pray that I'd never have to endure that feeling, because I couldn't imagine someone who you love, like that's very close to, who's gone missing, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's just saddening.
At the sheriff's office, investigators try a new tactic on Lewis.
I don't know about you, brother. I ain't got no sleep.
Around 8 o'clock, when they start their interview again, the investigators start laying out pictures of Jasenia and the kids.
With your wife?
In the hope that there will be some sort of emotional response, or perhaps tell the truth about what happened. What happens next is this kind of unbelievable story.
I never put my hands on my wife.
Wow, he got super emotional about it. I don't know. That seems like a telltale sign of a cold heart.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I need you to tell me what happened.
Less than 24 hours after being taken into custody, Lewis Toledo breaks down in the Volusia County interrogation room.
As he should.
So far, he stood by one version of events, but now another story emerges, one that involves his neighbor, Tyshawn Jackson.
Oh, Steph. He's bringing Tyshawn into this. He is trying to go down. And he's probably like, he's black, so they're totally going to believe me.
Like 2, 3 in the morning. That's what Tyshawn put up. I told him I was having problems. He came over. He's talking to me. I said, I know my wife hates when I play PS3. That's her most hated thing. She hates that. So I told him we were going to the house and play. I don't care if she gets upset.
Oh my gosh. I did not expect for him to say that. That was, okay, now I got to see where he's going with this.
Lewis says that when both he and Tyshawn went inside the house to play video games, the situation soon escalated.
She got up when she saw Tyshawn. She said, going off on me, whatever, and she told that she wanted everybody to leave. She wanted me to get out the house. I told her I didn't have to go.
I love that. Like, you from the hood, or you from a culture when you hit that with the da 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 or da 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 da. That means when you hear someone say, "Yeah," and she did XYZ, and then da 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 da. That means that there were other stuff said that one you don't remember exactly what was said, and it wasn't super pertinent to the conversation. It just progresses the story. So just a little bit of slang for you.
She came at me. She grabbed me on the back. She got me scratches back here. She grabbed me from the back. I'm saying I got so tired of grabbing on me. She hit her up the neck. She fell out of the floor, holding her neck, looking at me. She couldn't breathe. She stopped breathing.
Wow. So this dude, he an actor. He an actor, y'all. Clap it up for him. And the award for most emotional husband who could be a killer is Louise. Like, wow. So you're telling me and the reason why I don't believe it, because somebody's like, it could be possible men are that strong. Okay, one, if men are that strong, he could have just restrained her, or he could have slapped her, right? He could have slapped her. But it's the blood that was in the bathroom. I want to see how he's going to explain that. And then two, Tyshawn didn't say anything about them playing video games. So let's go too deep.
All this time, Talia and Elijah are home.
The kids came out of the room because of the screams. So Tyshawn, take them over there, please take them.
There's this.
Tyshawn never even said. I mean, if it's illegal, I can see him probably not saying it, but it would just be strange to me that he wouldn't say that, especially if you know that it had nothing to do with you. But I could be wrong.
Panic in the home as the kids run out and see their mother dying. Toledo asked Tyshawn Jackson to take the kids in the other room so that he can help his dying wife on the floor.
He came back up here, asked me if she was dead. I said, yeah. He went back to the bathroom. I heard blah, blah, blah.
What? He came back out. He asked if she was dead. I said, yeah. He went back to the bathroom and I heard pow, pow, pow. Why is he shooting your wife?
I went over there. He thinking his hand. He hit my kids in the head. There was blood everywhere.
Why is he shooting your kids? For what? For what? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, so this dude just went rogue and just started shooting kids? Because he killed your...
Instead of taking them safely in the other room, the story that...
And then, did you see... Let me see if I can go back. Go back a little bit.
The kids in the other room so that he can help.
Let me see if I can... Look at the police officer right here. This guy right here. He's looking at him like, look at this dude. Worst story ever. Worst story ever.
All this time, Talia and Elijah are home.
The kids came out of the room because of the screams. So Tyshawn, take them over there, please take them.
There's this panic in the home as the kids run out and see their mother dying. Toledo asked Tyshawn Jackson to take the kids in the other room so that he can help his dying wife on the floor.
He came back up here, asked me if she was dead. I said, yeah. He went back to the bathroom. I heard blah, blah, blah.
That police officers, he ain't moving. He hasn't done anything. He's like, this ninja lying.
I went over there. He thinking his hand. He hit my kids in the head. There was blood everywhere.
So, and here's another reason why this dude's a big fat liar. Okay. So he killed the kids. All right. Which is probably the worst crime. Like, all right, you can get off on your wife. That maybe it's self-defense. Okay. But you wouldn't call the police and he killed the kids and you didn't kill the kids. You don't think the police will believe him? Come on, man. Wow. What a friend he is. What a friend he is.
Instead of taking them safely to the other room, the story that Toledo tells is that Tyshawn Jackson took them into the other room and got an axe and hit them in the heads.
Oh, an axe. I thought it was a gun. But an axe. He killed his kids with axes? Ooh.
I told him what he do. He told me he can't go to jail for what's murder. The kids saw it. Tell my God, Tyshawn, you killed my kids. You killed my kids.
I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing I'm not laughing about the murder. That's not what I'm laughing about. I'm laughing about how theatrical this performance is and how nonsensical his story is. Like, so you're telling me you just hit your wife. First of all, you were like, F it, I'm gonna play PlayStation, right? And then you get your wife attacks you. Okay. She scratches the back of your neck. Okay. And then you hit her one time, and that hit is so powerful that she basically dies, right? She's dying. She basically dies. Okay, cool. And then Tyshawn, who was there, and remember at this point, you killed your wife. Tyshawn is still in the clear, but Tyshawn, who I guess is just a ride or die individual, was like, well, you killed your wife, and the kids saw you killed your wife, so they're going to think I had something to do with it, even though I wasn't there. So let me kill the kid. This dude is wild.
Lewis claims Tyshawn told him what needed to happen next.
He said, you can get rid of those sweets in the shovel. We put them in the car in the trunk. I helped him carry them. And he left and I started cleaning everything up. No way he did with it. I don't know. I don't know where he at.
What? No. Tyshawn better not had nothing to do with this. I'm hoping Luis is just like really, he's just really bugging on this one. Because it doesn't sound believable. But as I sit here and think, maybe Tyshawn knows what happened and helped him clean up. But for real, it doesn't, Tyshawn, it makes no sense for Tyshawn to get involved with this. Like, Luis is not his homie. That's not his buddy. It doesn't sound like it's his A1, his day one since A1 since day one. It doesn't really sound like they have that type of relationship for Tyshawn to really get himself involved with something that had nothing to do with him in the first place.
Did you hurt my baby? That's bad.
But we still don't know where Jasenia and her children are. But they're confident they're not alone.
I don't know where my baby, I didn't hurt my babies. I swear.
They deliver the hard news to the family.
A lot of our family were at my mom's house. And once they heard all of us screaming and crying, it just broke the whole house. Everyone just crying, screaming. I just lost it. I just fell on the floor, started screaming, yelling. I guess they carried me to the room, to my bedroom. My brother, he started punching the walls. Myself got on my knees and just started pleading to God, like, why? Why did this have to happen to us? Why Jasenia? Why Talita?
She's so pretty. She looked like a little off-brand Cardi B, who I think is pretty. And I think Yesenia is very pretty too.
Elijah.
Back at the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, detectives deliver a bomb to Tyshawn.
I talked to Lewis over the course of the past 2 days. Okay. Lewis told me they're dead. Right? He's giving me specifics as far as how they died, and he put you as the primary person responsible for some of their deaths. Not all of them, but some of them.
He did not put me in no primary state like that.
He did. Why would
Not has anything to do with the death. I said.
Once again, Tyshawn recounts the events of October 23rd.
Tyshawn, like, I'm believing in you, man. I'm really believing in you. So I'm really like, the story sounds nonsensical. So I hope it doesn't make sense for you to be involved with it. All right. So I'm really hoping that you're not, but do not embarrass me in front of my one viewer who's watching me. Okay.
Just as he had several times before. The story doesn't change.
I did not leave my house Wednesday night at all. 0. Left my house 6:11 Thursday morning.
We tried to learn more about Ty. We went and talked to his mom. We talked to people that knew him well. We took polygraph tests, and while they're not admissible, they tell you a lot about a person. We conducted a search warrant on his house, looking for items of clothing, looking for any evidence of blood related to the kids. Ultimately, what we found is that Ty was not there that night. Ty didn't.
Thank you, Ty, because I'm out here capping for you because that story sounds nonsensical. Now, my issues is, why has he got you in there so hard? Like, why does he have your name in his mouth so much? Like, I feel like it's a little racial component, because that's wild that he will make up such a story and involve you so much. And again, like, you seem cool, but not like that cool.
Didn't have anything to do with the death of the kids. Toledo was completely full of it, and this was his effort to cover up what he had done himself.
4 days after Jasenia and the children disappeared, Lewis is interviewed again.
Mm-hmm.
The interview started just as every other interview had.
We talked to you again every day since Wednesday that this began, and so we can continue to talk about some things today.
But then all of a sudden, Toledo has stomach pains.
Of course, because this guy is an actor. He missed his call in. Broadway need him.
Sure. And this is maybe 5 minutes into their conversation. 5 minutes later, he needs to go again.
Take me to the bathroom.
Then 5 minutes later, he needs to go again.
In the bed.
And on the third trip to the bathroom, while he's on the toilet, he's talking to law enforcement still.
Mm.
They're asking him questions and he's giving answers.
I hope he's wearing I hope they're wearing wires so they can catch it. I would kind of let him shit on himself. Like, you killed your wife. Why should you have access to clean running toilets? Nah, homie. But I get it. You have to be innocent until proven guilty. I get it. Thank you, laws.
And finally, one of them just says, well, why don't you just tell us the truth? Where are they? And his story switches from, I don't know where they are, to I will never tell you where they are.
Oh, look at him. Oh, he a little evil son of a biscuit-eating bulldog.
He dives off of the toilet, dives against the door, and is able to block the door and lock out law enforcement. And then the mirror breaks.
The mirror breaks? Ooh. Oh my gosh!
Police scramble to reach Louis Dilemma, who has barricaded himself in the bathroom and smashed a mirror.
Everyone is concerned that Toledo's going to harm himself. They get the battering ram, they put a hole in the door, they fire a taser through the door and stun him, and are able to put him back in custody.
Oh my
Louis has cut his arm
goodness.
in a drastic attempt to take his life.
Oh, look, he mad. He mad. Look at him. Man. Wow, I bet you thought you was gonna get out of this one, old Louis T. Thought you was gonna get away. Thought you was so slick.
He's rushed to a local hospital. As he recovers, the search for Jasenia, Aaliyah, and Elijah extends beyond law enforcement. Felicita enlists all the help she can get to find her family.
Over 1,000 people seriously were there. I mean, it was a lot of people searching all over the place. But it was difficult because we didn't know what to look for. We knew we were looking for my sister, my niece, and nephew, but we didn't know if we were going to find them and what we were going to find.
That is crazy. Look at her. Her and her 2 kids. I'm curious about their original father. Like, what is their thoughts? When I get done with this, I'm gonna go look up and see what his thoughts were. I mean, I'm sure that it wasn't good, right? I just want to put that out there. But I'm just a nosy Nelly, so I'm always curious about what people think.
2 days later, and no luck finding the bodies. Investigators tried a different approach with Lewis by bringing in someone he once trusted, local prosecutor Ann Wedge McMillan. Lewis was a key witness in her case against the Latin Kings gang leader.
They put me in a room and he came in. He looked absolutely devastated. He looked embarrassed. And I just said, I just can't understand how you're here. What happened? He was like, I didn't kill the kids. I didn't do that.
Oh, man, he already lying. All right, he ain't killed him. Who killed him, Lewis? Who killed him, Louise? They didn't just kill him and with an axe? Come on, man. Just admit it. I know you did it. Just admit it. I know you did it. Just admit it.
Several hours. Lewis gives Ann nothing new.
It was really sad because this person that I had come to believe existed wasn't there. It was just this really, really sad person who had committed really, really horrible crimes. And
and which really sucks, right? Because on one hand, you're like, ha, like, why would you believe a criminal like him? He's snitching. Obviously, his moral code is jacked up because he's snitching. But on the other hand, there are people out there who really want to change their lives, and this is an opportunity for them to do so. And he just really took advantage of you. And it sucks because he's a criminal, and the criminals do take advantage of you. But then there's some criminals that change and want better. So it's hard. It's really, really hard. It's a very much a gamble. It's a very much of a gamble.
Was refusing to be accountable for it.
Ann believes she knows why Lewis won't admit to killing Talia and Elijah.
within the Latin Kings, you are entitled to punish people who disrespect you or disrespect the organization. Yesenia, the fact that Lewis believes she was having an affair is an ultimate form of disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
But crimes against children are absolutely forbidden in that organization.
And I hope they, ooh, it's killing those. Look at that little sweethearts. Little sweethearts. And you killed them.
If he goes to prison for murdering children, he will not be protected by the organization in prison.
Wait, but how is he protected by the organization in prison when he flipped on a leader for the Latin Kings? It doesn't seem like he should be protected anyway because he's a snitch.
While Lewis remains tight-lipped, the results come in for blood evidence found in Jacinia and Lewis's master bathroom.
There were 23 spots of blood belonging to Talia. The droplets have movement, both in a horizontal and vertical plane, and it paints a picture of a little girl who is running into the bathroom to escape the horrors of whatever is happening in the house. We believe that she is pursued into that bathroom by Louis Toledo, and that Louis Toledo strikes her at least 4 times, causing blood to spatter up onto the walls of the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Talia's blood was also found on one of Lewis's boots, and on a trunk mat recovered from the dumpster Tyshawn pointed out to police.
Just super evil. Them babies again. I just don't understand. Like people are so tied to disrespect. Like I understand you wanted to be respected. I get it. But leave. If she want to disrespect you, go on. Get that divorce and leave. Y'all want to delete these people and then go off and crash out and kill everybody else, kill those kids, all because you emotional. Some of you don't know how it feels to be cheated on. Yeah, I do. And I get it. It feels like you want to kill people. But guess what? You don't do it. You don't kill them.
Hi, everyone. Mark Barden here at Sandy Hook Promise. On December 14th, 2012.
All the evidence tells investigators one thing.
It was abundantly clear that he had killed Jacinia and the kids.
Louis Toledo is formally charged with second-degree murder of Jacinia Suarez and first-degree murder of her 2 children, Talia and Elijah.
Good.
The prosecution plans to seek the death penalty.
As they should. You killed 3 people, 2 children. I feel like if you kill children, it should automatically, unless you can really show that kid was the spawn of Satan, they try to kill you, it should be an automatic death sentence in my verdict. When you kill elderly people and young kids needlessly, I mean, really anybody. But I understand crimes of passion a tad bit more than premeditated murder. Although I don't understand crimes of passion at all. But I definitely feel like if you kill children like he did, you should be put to death. Like, you're not allowed to be here anymore because you're obviously a predator to humanity. And some of these people are just predators to humanity.
Penalty is reserved for the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And killing children simply to avoid detection for this other crime makes Louis Toledo the worst of the worst.
Absolutely.
It takes 4 years to bring the case to trial, while the state of Florida reviews its sentencing guidelines for...
They were missing for 4 years and they still ain't find their bodies? Dang.
A death penalty case.
Those 4 years is very intense waiting for justice. I never stopped doing different things. I mean, for their birthday, for the day they were missing. A lot of prayer helped us through the time. We didn't have Jacinia or the kids. We were anxious to just get it over with.
Wow, this is crazy. I hate when they get so obstinate that they hide the bodies and they don't want to share what happened. I absolutely just detest that. Like, you're being very very evil. Very, very evil.
The trial of Louis Toledo finally begins. And the biggest hurdle for the prosecution is that the bodies of Jacinia, Talia, and Elijah have never been found.
What made us confident we could defend Louis Toledo was that without the bodies, no one could come into court and say what happened to the children.
We knew that the defense was always going to argue no bodies, no murder. I think in the history of the United States, there have been fewer than 500 murder cases that have been successfully prosecuted with no.
And it's true. I've seen some cases where they think it's that person, but it has to be a lot of evidence, a lot of circumstantial evidence for them to say, yeah, you did it. And in some scenarios, they don't have enough DNA. They don't have enough fingerprints, and they know that this person did it, but they have nothing, so they have to let them go, and hopefully hope that they don't kill somebody else. But you do see that they do kill other people.
No bodies, and we had the challenge of doing it 3 times in one case.
I did feel he was gonna get away with murder when they said not found any bodies. You know, we as a family were at the trial every day, showing the courts that we are a united family, and Jesse Wooden had just left.
On day 1, the prosecution calls Felicita Nieves to the stand.
So there wasn't like this big...
And you see it. She got that hate in her eyes. She's like, F you, bro. Like, you have done some crazy things to my family. This will not go unpunished. So I feel her. Go ahead, mama.
Big fight or blow up that she had to escape from within your family?
No, Jesse would have never escaped from us. Jesse would have approached us and come to us or whatever.
How about the kids? Was there any reason for them to run away and leave their entire family behind?
No, they would never run away. The first place they would have run, it would have been to grandma's house.
That makes me so sad. Because he didn't have to kill them. He didn't have to kill nobody, really. But he definitely didn't have to kill those babies.
6 days into the trial, prosecutors call their key witness, Tyshawn Jackson.
This kid was going to have to stand up in a courtroom and point the finger at that person for being responsible for the death of the woman and for her children. This was not an easy thing.
And I'm so glad Tyshawn got up there because Luis was really trying to take him down with him. And he had nothing to do with it. Off of a PlayStation. Dude is a little sociopath. He's a little sociopath.
All eyes inside the St. Augustine courtroom are on Tyshawn Jackson as he takes the stand in the murder trial of Luis Paleto for killing Jasenia Suarez and her 2 young children.
Our strategy in putting him on the stand was really just to keep him up there and keep him talking. Did you end up spending some time at his house?
Yes.
We wanted to let him talk about his relationship with the kids and how much he cared for them. Do you like the kids?
Yeah. They're nice kids.
Do you feel close to them?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with their death?
No.
He seems like a cool dude. He seems like he's just like a cool dude. And you guys seen him. You have him in your neighborhood. If you live in the hood, you have that one dude who he don't bother nobody. He smoke a little weed here and there. He keeps to himself. Like, he doesn't really bother nobody. That's what he seems like to me. He look out for you.
To eventually feel all the things about Ty that we also felt about Ty, and to recognize that he was not capable of committing these horrendous crimes that Toledo had described.
And furthermore, he's not responsible for those crimes, but how would he benefit from killing the kids? How would he benefit? That's where Luis is getting this confused. And Luis is even established, like, this is my best friend, this is my homie. He just started killing people. Why? I really feel like it's racially charged. Like, that's just weird. That's just really weird. I guess he was trying to explain away what Tyshawn was saying. So, okay.
You ever spend time with the defendant's wife, Jasenia?
No.
Do you have anything to do with her death?
No.
So that the jury would see the sharp contrast between the next door neighbor who did have an emotional relationship with the children and Toledo, who seemingly had no emotion.
I was just about to say that. I was like, that dude is up there crying. Those ain't even really his real family, his kids. I haven't seen Luis shed not one tear, not one emotion of substance since they were talking to him when he was in the interrogation room and when he did all that hooping and hollering.
At any point in the trial.
Luis Toledo's defense team tries every possible tactic to cast doubt on the state's case.
One of our themes in defending Mr. Toledo is that, yes, the children are more likely dead than not, but how were they murdered? Were they murdered with an instrument? If so, what type of instrument? Those are questions that were unanswered.
Still, it's tough for the defense to get past Lewis's own words.
That's what I don't grab my She's not breathing.
And when he was talking about his stuff, he was pulling from things that truly happened. She died looking at me. He hit her like that. The kids were murdered with axes. Like, first of all, an axe, that's pretty, like, an axe, that's pretty.
Interrogation and video of that came in, and the jury saw it.
Specific.
Now we had to rebut that and defend that in front of the jury. and that made the case very difficult.
After 4 weeks of trial, the prosecution and defense rest their case.
And people hate defense. They hate the defense people because they feel like people, because they're like you're defending a murderer, and defense is not necessarily trying to let a murderer go off free. Their job is to basically ensure that defendant had their civil liberties exercised the best of their ability. So they're not trying to say, hey, unless they have really good evidence that this person didn't do it, but their job is to try to defend the defendant the best way that they know how. Because some people are not guilty. Some people aren't guilty. So don't get so mad at defendants because they're just doing their job, or defense attorneys.
Luis Toledo never testifies. His fate now rests with the jury.
I wouldn't let him testify either. He's a horrible actor.
It was very tense and very scary, thinking that he could get away with that. But I did have to trust in God and I trust in the lawyers that they did what they needed to do.
Let's bring Mr. Toledo out, please.
After deliberating for a single day, the jury returns a verdict.
Look at him. I hate his hair. I hate his hair so much. He did it. I hate his hair right here. Look, what is this? What is this? Who did your hair like this? Look at this. Look at this. Ooh, I can't stand you. I can't stand you.
They find Luis Toledo guilty of first-degree murder for the deaths of Aaliyah and Elijah, and guilty of second-degree murder for the death of Yesenia.
Absolutely, you deserve it.
It was hard, but when they read the verdict, it was a happiness in a way, a happiness that justice was taking place.
After a 4-day sentencing phase, the jury decides Luis Toledo's ultimate fate. According to Florida state law, a decision to impose the death penalty must be unanimous.
That is true. It must be unanimous.
Of life is 10-2.
And then it sunk in that, all right, he's not going to get the death penalty in this case.
Oh.
Our job was to keep him off of Florida death row. And we did that.
Oh, why would you? Why would you want to live after doing all that? All the more reason why he's evil. Like, dude did all of that, and he doesn't want to die. He wants to just keep living on this earth. Dubious.
I felt it was the right punishment. They wanted the death penalty. I didn't. I remember I used to tell them that I don't kill people. We don't murder.
Okay, because of her, I'm okay with it. But like, I get people. It reminds me of that the superheroes like on DC and Marvel, X-Men. You have the idea of, do you kill the criminals because they out here killing people and they're just gonna keep doing it again and they're like enemies to humanity? Do you just keep them on this earth? It's a tough subject, but I'm for the death penalty. I'm for the death penalty. Like, you know, murder is wrong. No matter what, unless you have a mental deficiency. Once you get past the age of, I will say, 9, 10, you know that murder is wrong.
Happy birthday.
Justice can only do so much to ease the pain of losing Yesenia, Talia, and Elijah, and still not knowing where they are.
Oh. 9 years?
It's definitely
Jesus.
an everyday challenge for us. I never stopped searching. I never lost hope. I just want them home. If I would see Luis again, I would say him, please just tell me where's my daughter. Please just tell me where's Talia and Aisha. If you love them so much, let me put them to rest. You like that, puppy?
To make it go faster, you gotta move it.
Yeah.
Oh. So I'm going to end it right there. I do want to go look him up and check him out. Let's see here. Is it Yesenia, Thalia? Let's see what we get here. Murdered Deltona family's bodies still missing 10 years later. 10 years. I think wherever it's at, it's probably been well picked over by the by animals if it's out in the wild, because they tend to eat the meat and pick over. But geez. So Luis Toledo has 3 consecutive life prison sentences. Despite one of the biggest local law enforcement searches ever, covering about 90 square miles across Volusia and Seminole counties, and including the help of out-of-state volunteers, the bodies of the mother and children have never been found. Toledo, now 36, vowed never to reveal what he did with the bodies. Oh, I hate that. I hate that, sir. First of all, you don't even understand how law works. Now you can really tell they can't like send you to more jail right now. You can't go into more crime. You're done. You're absolutely done. I just don't understand. I don't understand with that. So let's stop sharing. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm so sorry I had a little bit of that mix up, but join me every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to talk about some live true crime. Hopefully we won't get copyright struck. So I know it's like annoying for me to stop and talk, but sorry guys. Sorry gang. You know, I'm not trying to get rid of my channel. And don't forget to check out some of my other true crime videos on here. And please, if you like this,